Rev up your engines. All right, Rav4. They're the biggest selling SUVs on the planet. They've sold well over 10 million of them. This guy just bought a used one for 9 grand. This one was made in Japan. Look at that paint. It's still immaculate. As we go to the side, you can see, it was made in Japan, which is what you want. And it does have the more powerful V6 engine. And I like the ones with the old spare tire on the back myself. Gives you more space. It's got a little over 100,000 miles. The guy's buying it as a second car. When he comes and visits his son in Tennessee, he wanted to leave a car here. And really, you couldn't pick a better car than this to leave. You can let them sit for ages, then start them up, drive them around. I mean, his son's gonna drive it every once in a while. You can let these things sit, especially since it's a 2011. It doesn't have all the crazy electronic crap that modern cars have. It will not have the parasitic drain that a modern car has. Unfortunately, you buy a brand new car, you buy 2023, 2024, there's so much electronics on those things. They'll tell you where you are. They'll probably show you where the nearest toilet is if you need one, right? But that's always using a little bit of electricity. If you let a modern car sit for 3-4 months, guess what? It probably won't start when you go to start it. This thing, no. Just like my old Celica. It can sit there for 7 months. Turn that key, whoop, starts right up. Because it doesn't have the parasitic drain that a modern car has. To say that this is dinosaur technology, because it isn't. Take off the dumb beauty cover, throw it on the ground, and you can see it's coming apart. It's another reason you don't want it, right? That's insulation. Eventually it could short something out, so it's a good thing I tore it off. Took it off because there's mouse turds in there. Well, it runs fine, so it didn't damage anything yet. Hey, the bottom side still has the regular insulation, but the other stuff, the mice made a little home. Another reason not to have a beauty cover. It gives them a house to hide in, you know? Leave them off. Really? They're stupid. Now, the reason that's insulated, because it cuts down on noise a little. These engines don't make noise anyway, so who cares? We look here, what do we see? It's got ignition coils on the top, right? But it's got regular fuel injectors. Port 3 for each side of the engine. Bank 1 and bank 2. You got 6 cylinders, you got 6 fuel injectors of low pressure. This isn't GDI where you can have over 1,000 PSI. These things are 45, 50 PSI maybe. I've seen Toyotas with 400,000 miles. They still got the original injectors on them, and they're still running perfectly fine. For my money, I would rather, in the long term, have one like this than a brand new one, because I know how the brand new ones work. I got machines to work on them, but hey, when you gotta buy parts, and odds are you're never gonna find a mechanic like me to work on it. These days, there's such a lack of good mechanics out there. It's only getting worse as time goes on. That these modern cars, as they get more complicated, and the guys that work on them get less and less educated because it's seen as a bad job, you know what ends up happening. You take your car in, you pay a bunch of money, and it's not even fixed. You can do the stuff yourself. Air filter here. This baby has a timing chain. It doesn't have a stupid rubber timing belt, right? Toyota got rid of those things quite some time ago, but for some bizarre reason, Honda's still making a bunch of vehicles, SUVs, trucks, that have V6 engines with rubber timing belts. They need to join the 21st century, but for some reason, Honda decided not to. Toyota did a long time ago. Nothing you gotta think about that. If you got an interference Honda V6, you gotta think, if that belt breaks, valves will bend, engine's toast, cost me thousands and thousands. Even if I can find someone who can fix it, this, all you gotta do is change the oil every 5,000 miles. That chain generally will last as long as the engine, and the engine's gonna last 300, 400, 500,000 miles. So, better design. Now the newer ones have timing chains too, but it's a much more complex system than these older ones are. Now this particular one is V6, only front wheel drive. I say only. What do you need? With that engine, all you need on this thing is, see where it snows, put snow tires on the front. You wouldn't even need to put them in the back. The back's just roll, right? Let's go inside, check it out. Let's say it's an 11, so it's old. So what does it have? It's got a CD player, yeah? But it also has MP3 player too. Not old enough that it's got a tape deck, you know? It's got AM, FM, and all that stuff too. You can always put in whatever you want, you know? You want to stick in the Android, stick in an Android. Cloth seats, and you can see they wear well. Look at the room in the back, the cup holders. Got a nice trunk space. Does it have a sunroof? Moonroof? No. Who needs one? They're stupid as far as I'm concerned. It's still got all kinds of electronics on it. You can see it's got some nice aux power. You can turn the traction control off if you want. Now it's off. Now it's on. It has a real automatic transmission, not one of those crappy CVTs. These Toyota transmissions and these RAV4s are relatively bulletproof. You can see it's got 100,357 miles. So let's get the giant scan tool out, see if he got ripped off or not. I don't think so, but you never know. And it just plugs into the OBD port here. And check it out, I like it. It's got a manual seat. None of this power crap that breaks. These last forever, easy to adjust, and they don't break. It already connected itself automatically. Toyota, standalone diagnosis, VIN number all by itself. Knows it's a RAV4, 2011, 2 GRFE, 2-wheel drive without a smart key. Here we go. Full scan. While we're doing it, we'll look around a little. Armrest is still in good shape. Got a lot of space in it. Interior is still in good shape. Okay, it's 100% done. And the only thing it has is one code for the ABS system. Low or high supply voltage. We're gonna erase that because the battery's been replaced before he bought it. It might have sat a while and gone dead. You get a weak battery, you'll get those codes all the time. So, to erase the codes, we gotta turn it off, then just turn it on with only the idiot lights on. And now we'll look at live data. Start her up, and like I said, it's got a new interstate battery. That's why it had that code. We'll start looking at some interesting data, see what it's doing. Battery voltage. He just took a long trip, so it's only 13.6, but that's because it's already fully charged from the long trip. The short-term fuel trim, 0, meaning it's running perfectly. It's not adding or subtracting fuel. It's close to perfection. 1 is perfect. That's 0.002 off, and that's perfect. Oh, now it's 002 off. Going between almost perfect and perfect. Look at some more data. Temperature, everything on it's normal. It's all black, all normal data. So let's take it for a spin. Here we go. No backup camera. Got to use the mirror because it's an old car. First thing you notice, it's a V6, so it idles like a dream. And being a RAV4, it's relatively high. It's not outrageously high, but you get a nice view, you feel safe, and you don't have to worry about going through shallow water and having a problem, or being stuck in the snow because it's relatively high, and with snow tires, it's going to go pretty good. Being a 2011, you know, it's an SUV, and it shows it in the handling. You know, it's a little rough handling. You got to kind of wrestle through the curves. It's not low to the ground. It's not a race car. It is an SUV to transport people around. And here we go as the cat crosses the road. Nice acceleration. We'll see what it's like on a little drag strip. Most of these are 4-bangers. They got plenty enough power, but this certainly is a lot zippier. You'll get a little bit worse gas mileage. And I mean, it's not horrible handling. You take the curve. He's got to wrestle a little. It is a boxy vehicle. I mean, come on now. It's not particularly aerodynamic. Now, we'll look behind us. There's no one behind us. Here we go to our little drag strip. And 1, 2, 3, go. Whoa! Hey, this baby lays rubber. This is one screaming RAV4. And for those who wonder, yes, I did turn the traction control off. That's why it burned rubber. So you want to pass somebody, we're going about 40, we'll step on the gas. You can pass people. This thing's got some zip to it. Shifts like a dream, even though it's got 100,000 miles on it. Plenty of acceleration. I gotta say, I am a cheapskate and I would buy one with a 4-cylinder engine, but this V6 is a heck of a lot more fun to drive. You can hear a little wind, but it's not particularly bad for a high-up vehicle. The wind noise is pretty minimal for a 13-year-old vehicle. We're taking a little faster than we're supposed to, and it's holding the road fine. And of course, the brakes are pretty much overpowered for this thing. They'll stop on a dime with no problem at all. No stop-start technology. It idles the whole time and it's smooth. It isn't turning itself on and off. That obnoxious start-stop technology does not exist in this car. It's really a nice all-round SUV. That's why they're the largest selling SUVs in the world. And And just this year, Consumer Reports are whining about, oh, we don't advise the RAV4. Oh, it's boring, blah, 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 blah. Just like people say, Toyota Camrys are boring. I want one of those. Hey, these things can last forever. And if that's boring to you, I said it's exciting. I don't like wasting my money fixing cars, having to buy a car because my old one broke. I want one I can drive forever. I have all the technology like, oh, look, it's warning us the stop signs ahead. It doesn't have that. It doesn't have pictures. It doesn't have all that crap. Yeah, but it doesn't have expensive repair bills either. All you need to do is change the oil and filter every 5,000 miles, air filter, whatever. When the brakes finally wear out, put new brake pads on. These things are easy to work on, and you can get discount parts that'll work perfectly fine because they made millions of these, so there's a giant aftermarket supply of parts for these things. This 2011 is like the perfect car for this guy. He got it for $9,000. It's probably gonna last forever. You know how much money he's saving on insurance? Sure, a new car is gonna cost a ton more on top of it, but the insurance is gonna be even higher than that. You get cheap insurance on a car that might run forever. It's a Toyota. It happened to have been owned originally in Florida, so it's got no rust on it. Now it's in Tennessee. It's not gonna get much rust here either. So, hey, if you want something that could probably last even longer than a new one, in the long run, it might go 400,000 or 500,000 miles. Realize why these are the biggest selling SUVs in the world. Because they last, they give people what they want. And yeah, they're expensive brand new now. But there's always used cars out there. And the market right now is starting to drop on used cars because the repo men are taking over now. With 7% interest rates and the price of cars, so many people are giving up on their cars. There's now a whole bunch of used cars out there, so you might start looking now. Especially since it's the holiday season and that's the best time to buy cars. People need money. People don't have money. Unfortunately, a lot of people get fired by sleazy corporations during the holidays. Check it out, it's true. And then they need money and they will sell the car. Just think, you only own one thing you can get fast money from, that's a car. Try selling your house, it might take months or years, right? A car, Toyota, you can sell them fast. And if the prices are down, hey, save yourself a lot of money. Don't do like the Toyota's ad saying, oh, buy a nice Toyota Lexus, a new one for your wife. Get her a used one instead and save a bunch of money. So if you never want to miss another one of my new car repair videos, remember to ring that bell.